Okay, the question is, how did I get my start in voiceover and why should you care? Hi, I'm Jesse Carroll, professional voice actor and coach. And if you're new here, hit the like and subscribe button so I can smack you upside the head with more voiceover content. Okay, the question today is, how did I get my start in voiceover? Why should you care? If you're new in voiceover or struggling to get started, one of the best things that you can do is just look to people that have done it or are currently doing it consistently and just copy what they did. So here we go. How did I start? Well, I started out of necessity, really. I was working as a nightclub manager and my acting career was going nowhere, and without warning, I got fired from my nightclub manager job. I had barely any savings because I was an idiot and didn't prepare. I had just signed a really expensive lease to a new apartment and I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. First thing I did, obviously, was try and find a new nightclub job, but I knew that, my days were dwindling. So what I knew I needed to do was find some kind of a side hustle. So I started Googling all the things you could do, and right away, voiceover came up and it hit me. Like, it's something that I always wanted to do and it resonated with me. So I went down the rabbit hole of YouTube, blogs, learning as much as I could about it. And I decided that, it's something that I think I could do. So at that point, I had a decision to make. I could either do it casually or I could attack it as hard as I could and make something happen. And that's exactly what I did. I made a decision. If you're struggling to get started in voiceover, I would suggest that that's maybe because you're not all in yet. You're deciding whether it's for you, or you're worried about what if you spend all this money on gear and you don't book a job. That's the kind of thing that's gonna freeze you in place. You don't think about that stuff. You just make a decision. You decide, this is what it is, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna make it happen no matter what. So that's what I did. Now, in the beginning, it was a little scary. I had no money, I couldn't buy any equipment, I had no money for membership sites for online casting, and I had no idea how I was gonna make it happen. So what I did was start brainstorming and think of all the ways that I could get equipment without breaking the bank. I researched, and really good microphones like this one here are like $1,000. The cheapest one that you should start with voiceover, in my opinion, is the Rode NT1A, which will, if you're in America, cost you $200. If you're in Canada, it'll cost you closer to $300. I couldn't even afford that. So I called up a local music store that I knew rents equipment, because working in a nightclub, I had to rent equipment for DJ shows all the time. And I asked them what kind of microphones they rented, if they had all the stuff that I needed to do voiceover, and they did. And I rented it all for less than $100 a month. Yeah, so that's how I got all my equipment sorted for super cheap. $100 I had. Now, I didn't have much more than that in savings beyond, paying for rent and food and all that kind of stuff. So what I needed was a place to record. Luckily and also detrimentally, the apartment that I had rented was a really nice apartment. It was really expensive, but without a wage to pay for it, I was kind of hooped. And it had a really nice home office, which was about double the size of a good walk-in closet, which was perfect for a recording studio. Now, if you know anything about recording studios, you can't just start recording in a blank office with walls that are flat, because like these things behind me, you'll get reflections and it will sound like crap. You won't get any work. So I couldn't afford to get a bunch of acoustic foam or moving blankets that some people call acoustic blankets. I couldn't get any of that stuff. So I had to work with what I had. I took all of the cushions off my couch and I put them banked up against the walls. It covered an okay amount of area. Then I took the comforter off my bed and I pinned it to the wall and used towels, everything I could to dampen the sound, and covered about half of the office. And I got carpet on the floor. And it was okay. It wasn't the best, but I didn't let that stop me. I started working right away. What I did was I found a site that you could get voiceover work on for free, which was Fiverr. Now, at the time, Fiverr was a great place to start. I don't recommend it anymore, because back in the day, you could get on there and you could just start applying for jobs and hit people up. You can't do that anymore. You have to get on and just wait. So in the day, Fiverr was a great place to start. And I didn't actually get on there to make money. I got on there to learn, because I didn't even have all my studio set up. My equipment was okay because it was rented, but I didn't have any skills either. I couldn't afford coaching, so I had to figure it out all on my own. So that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna figure it out as I went. So I got into Fiverr, and most people charged, at the time, you could only charge $5, but you could do it for $5 for 5 words, 10 words, 25 words, 100 words, and that's what most people were charging. I charged $5 for 1,000 words. And the reason for that is because I knew I would get a high influx of orders, and that would make me learn on the fly. And that's exactly what happened. The first month, I didn't get too many orders. I was brand new. I think I got 10 for around 1,000 words, and I made about $50 in the first month. But I was learning. If you try to edit 1,000 words when you're new, after a few projects, you're gonna get the editing thing down. And recording long form narration in the beginning, that's gonna make you really good too. So I was already starting to get the hang of it after month 1. In month 2, I started to get some more traction. I started raising the prices a bit. Now I was making a little bit more money. And the money I'd made, I went and I bought acoustic foam off of Amazon, and I started decking out my home office with that. Now it's starting to sound good. Raising my prices a little bit more on Fiverr. With the money I generated in month 2, which I think was around $500, I got that phone, and I also got a membership to voices.com, which was the big turning point in my career. Now, I don't work for Voices. I don't endorse them. In fact, a lot of the practices I'm not stoked with or happy about or endorse. But as far as a place to start for a beginner in voiceover, I don't think you can beat it. It's a really good place to start because they're gonna send you a lot of auditions and you don't have to worry about things like invoicing clients. So when I got on there, it took me a while actually to book my first audition. It didn't come right away, but I did every audition. It took me 250 auditions to book my first job, but my first job was $400 and it took me about 20 minutes to record it. So I thought, okay, I could do like 10 of these or more in a day. It's like $4,000 a day. I was gonna make $1 million. It has not happened. I'm not a millionaire. I've not made $1 million for voiceover, but it's not a bad goal. But the thing is that it showed me is that it's doable. It's possible. And I knew that with the auditions that I got sent every day from voices.com, the client said what they were looking for in a voiceover. They'd send a link to an example of a pre-existing commercial that they liked the tone of. And I would always save that to a private YouTube watch later file thing that I would check out and just study. I'd take notes. And I did this every single day. I was banking in the beginning, maybe 20, 30 auditions a day. I started getting a lot better really quickly. And I think in that third month between Fiverr, on Fiverr, when I raised my prices up to like $100 for 200 words, it happened really quickly. I think I made about $2,000 on Fiverr in my third month. And then on voices.com, my first month, I made about $1,500. So that's somewhere around there. It was like $3,500 to $4,000 in my third month. And then it just kept going up from there because what I did is I took that money and then I went and got one-on-one coaching with a guy in Vancouver named Noel Johansson at On the Mic Studios in Vancouver. Great place to train, and Noel is a fantastic commercial voiceover coach. He's brilliant. I took one month class with him and it totally changed my view of how to do voiceover, because in the beginning I was doing a lot of like projection and I was being way too loud. I wouldn't say loud, I would say inauthentic. I was representing what I thought voiceover should sound like. The way I was just copying what other people were doing, which I wasn't doing a bad job at it, but I could be a lot better if I added my own personality and my heart into it, according to Noel. And that's exactly what I did. And then I started booking a ton. In my first year in voiceover, I made over 6 figures and I haven't made less than that since. So that's how I got my start. That's the important part of it. So what are the takeaways from this? What can you learn from this if you're new? Number 1, make a decision. If you really want to do voiceover, get your equipment, set up your recording space, and start. Just make a decision that no matter what, no matter how hard it is, you're not going to quit and you're just going to do it. That's how you get results. That's how you get ahead. That's how you're going to find success. The number 1 thing, make that decision, decide, and do it. Number 2, repetition. Me doing the low budget jobs, which again, I don't totally recommend, but all the auditions more than anything with direction from clients, that made me so good so quick. It was like rocket fuel. I went from not knowing really anything at all in voiceover to exactly what the clients want because I'm seeing it every day and practicing all the time. Think about Michael Jordan, right? I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jordan. I'm comparing the repetition that I was doing to what he did. When he wanted to be a really good basketball player, he would just sit and just throw hoops all day, every day. Just do it until he couldn't miss. Kobe Bryant, same thing. And you look at a pitcher in the bullpen before a game, what is he doing? Just throwing the ball. Batter, same thing. Just swing the bat in the batting cage. That's what you got to do to get better. That's what you got to do to get ahead. You're not going to get better just by taking, weekly script reading classes. That's a part of the equation, but you need to practice. So what I urge you right now, if you want to have real success in voiceover, make that decision to start. And number 2, get in your reps. Do as many auditions as you can every day. If you're beginning, 20 to 30 auditions minimum. The more, the better. If you have the time and you have enough money for all the casting sites you'll need to get like 40, 50 auditions, or you have enough agents to send you that many auditions, do that. 40 to 50 a day and you're golden. You're gonna get a lot better real quick. That's my thumbs up here. So that's it. That's my story of how I got into it and how it ended up after that first year. Aside from the money part of the equation, I've now done over 500 voiceover commercials, just commercials, well over 1,000 projects in voiceover. I now narrate a show on History Channel and Hulu Channel called Backroad Truckers that just finished its 2nd season. Things went from me looking for a side hustle all the way to a full-on career. I live in New York City now, all because of voiceover. So if you really want to do this, know this. When I started, I didn't know anything. I had fears, but I didn't listen to into them. I just got started and got the reps in and made it happen. And you can do that too. And if you're new and you really want to learn how to do voiceover, check out the description below. I've got some links to my coaching site. I've also got a link to a free PDF that's going to tell you all the gear that you need to get, as well as a link to a free voiceover training, which will give you the basics that you need to get started. Okay, that's it, that's all. And again, if you disagree with anything that I said, fight me in the comments. Let's do this, let's go. All right, that's it, that's all. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn the notifications on for more voiceover content. That's it. See you in the next one.